Hello, y'all. Acerbus Sigil here, and this is weird, right? Because I've been watching Death Battle for a while, like a while. I seen most episodes of Death Battle, and my thing is that ever since they started coming back and dropping new stuff, right? I have been wanting to react to episodes, right? But with the matchups they've been having lately, I keep forgetting to not watch them so I can have a genuine reaction to them, right? So like this is now my chance. I was very close to just playing the episode, watching it, and then I remembered I was like, wait. Let me react to it. Let me react to it because my thing is that what I like about Death Battle is that, and I don't view them as like the end all be all, like, oh, obviously this is definitely what would happen if they fought. But I'm more just like, I like seeing how they break down and analyze the characters, and I like having to have that chance of seeing the fight animated. It's something cool to watch. So I figure we sit down, react to this together, watch this together, see how it goes. All right. So here we go. We have Aang versus the Traveler. I fuck with Avatar. I love Sam Avatar, right? No idea who the fuck the Traveler is. No idea what they do. Like I've played Genshin like once on PS4, and like if I'm honest, I only played because I saw Lisa, and I'm like, damn. As soon as I got Lisa maxed out, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with the game. I don't need to do anything anymore. So I don't know what this character's credentials is. I don't know what their feats and shit are. So we'll find out. Let's find out together. All right. So let's hop right into it. Y'all hear that, right? Let me make sure. That is
Aang the
very
Avatar
loud. Let
versus
me
Aether
help
the
y'all out.
Traveler.
Which journeyman will come out on top in this elemental battle?
He's
Okay, there we
where's
go.
my boomstick?
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Maybe a little lower. I don't want it to be too high. Drown out my voice,
Water, earth, fire, air.
Ooh, starting with Avatar. Okay, fuck yeah.
Lived in harmony, united by a master of the elements, the Avatar.
This Avatar reincarnated as different people for centuries, all with their own struggles. And man, was that true for our boy Aang.
Not at first, of course, thanks to his master and guardian, Yatso.
As a cheeky little air nomad, Aang traveled the world causing shenanigans, all while learning to control the winds with air bending.
Based on the real-life martial art Bagua Zhang, airbending is the most spiritual of the four bending styles, focusing on
I didn't know it was based on a real martial arts. That's cool.
Emotions. With even the smallest movement, Aang can create tornadoes, run like the wind, and block hypersonic explosions.
The perfect style for a twinkle-toed goofball like Aang. He even invented his own technique, the air scooter. How does he not fall off that thing?
And a glider staff for flight, and the sky was the limit.
Alright.
But you know how it goes. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Their conquest
Wait.
spread. War.
Am I crazy? Does Aang not have a last name? Like, I know Aang's the Avatar, right? But does Aang not have a last name? Does Aang not have a last name? I'll have to look into that actually, because I don't. I've never heard of Aang having like a last name or a family name, but I mean, he's Nomad, so I guess. Okay, interesting.
Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Their conquest spread. War was inevitable, and Aang was the only one who could save the world.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with all that, and being forcibly separated from Gyatso. He was just a kid, so he froze up. Like, literally, he accidentally froze himself and his adorable Sky Bison Appa for 100 years.
Until he was awakened by the Water Tribe siblings Katara and Sokka.
The goats?
Time wasn't kind to Aang's people. With no avatar to keep balance, the Airbenders, Aang's entire culture, were wiped out by the Fire Nation.
Oh, that's rough, buddy. But Aang took the wake-up call to heart.
As the Avatar, it's Aang's duty to understand the world's people. learning their cultures, their sadness, joy, and humanity.
And what better way to do that than learning how they kick ass?
From the Northern Water Tribe and his tween crush, Aang learned water bending. Themed around
Tween
fluid Tai
crush.
Chi movements, this style controls liquid in all forms to freeze targets, create water whips, and even cut through steel.
Learning earthbending was way tougher, but Aang's friend Toph taught him to stop being a wimpy
Toph
pushover.
the goat.
Now he can armor himself in stone.
Oh wait, let me see these. Air scooter, mobility, tornadoes, protection, ice, okay. All right. Energy bending? Energy bending. I don't recall energy bending. I might have missed that.
Entire cities and fight blind with a sonar-style seismic sense.
Earthbending is themed around the steady stances of Hung Quan Kung Fu, waiting for the right moment to strike head-on.
There was a lot to learn, but even with the world at stake and this moody hothead on his tail, Aang had fun doing it. Who could forget the adventures penguin sledding, going through the bending bayous, and living in Ba Sing Se, the city where no wars ever happened.
Yet across his journey, one power eluded Aang, the Avatar state, an enhanced mode of being that came to him in moments of peril.
Sure, if Aang dies in it, the Avatar cycle ends permanently, but who cares when it gives you enough power to wipe out a whole Navy fleet?
Come on, Boomstick. The Avatar state is more than just a power amp.
Jocelyn, how long have you been standing there?
I've been here the whole time. I lurk where all Avatar talk is. Through the cosmic power of the Avatars before him and the ancient spirit Rava, Aang gains the knowledge and experience of all previous Avatars, greatly expanding his bending options. Lava bending from Avatar
10,000
Roku,
years.
Sonic shouts from Avatar Yang Chen.
You know what that is right there? We call that Aang upscale. Go ahead and throw 1,000 years of battle experience right inside of Aang. There we go. Boom. Advantage right there. All right.
Even more are theoretically available to him through their memories.
Oh, I get it. You can't just grind your way to controlling the Avatar state.
Right. If Aang wanted to stop Fire Lord Ozai, he needed something else.
He
Right.
needed onion banana juice.
Yeah, technically, I suppose. Gross.
Specifically, Aang sought the guidance of Guru Patik. Mastering his power meant clearing his chakras, emptying his mind of earthly attachments. Seems
Irritants of
simple,
fire,
but this also meant rejecting his feelings for
freezing.
Katara, the person he loved most.
When he had to choose
Lava
between
generation.
the world or the girl, Aang followed his heart, and it didn't end well.
He got better. Aang was determined to understand the world's people, even the enemy Fire Nation. Something he
Right.
accomplished.
I remember watching that episode, like when it was on Nickelodeon, right? I remember because I didn't watch the show consecutively, right? I didn't watch it in order, and so every so often when I can, because I'd either be like at school or like not home, right? So I recall the episode where it was like them fighting in the cave in Ba Sing Se, and like Zuko, Azula, and Azula were there, and I'm like, ooh, this is a real cool, epic fight. All right, cool. And then when he started getting that Avatar state, I'm like, yeah, Aang's about to start kicking ass. And then when Azula snuck him, bro, if you could have seen my face, dog, bro, I was like that picture of Freddy just, bro. I've never been so flabbergasted because like I was so used to, oh yeah, Aang's got it. He's the main character. He's gonna kick ass. Zula just zip, down he goes, kills him. I couldn't believe it. This show's so goated, man. Oh my goodness. I could go on and on, but you know what? Great episode. You know what I mean? I just had to say it. It's so good.
And these two honking dragons, Aang was scared of firebending, but it's totally
That was
awesome.
crazy episode
It's not
too.
just about burning and blowing shit up. Okay, well it is, but there's so much more to it.
Formed from the explosive movements of Shaolin Kung Fu, firebending controls all manner of heat. And through the teachings of fire and water, he can redirect lightning bending, a burst of atmospheric discharge shot at over 200,000 miles per hour.
Iroh, the best uncle ever, used his techniques to redirect natural lightning. So, it's the real deal. Not crazy enough? At his peak, Aang surpassed benders who could throw buildings, melt stone, and hold up this gigantic library solo. Whooping Ozai's butt should be no problem, right?
Not exactly. You see, the air nomads were pacifists who believed in the value of life above all. Being the last airbender, Aang didn't think his people were truly gone unless he went back on their teachings, meaning he really didn't want to kill Ozai.
So, what, he's just a coward now? Mr. Firelord is about to burn down the entire Earth Kingdom!
Not at all. Are you even listening? Aang was simply at odds with what he wanted and what the world expected, so he needed to make a choice.
Right. In his greatest challenge yet, Aang discovered his true self, making his spirit unbendable and finally mastering the Avatar state.
He was going crazy with that shit.
Hurricanes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions.
Or in Avatar Kyoshi's case, a new island. As in, she broke off nearly 30 square miles of a peninsula to form a new landmass. But to defeat Ozai, Aang needed one final element, something few avatars had bent before: energy bending.
Not the easiest thing to do, but Aang
Oh, okay.
Ozai,
Okay.
the tyrant's connection to fire and stopping his invasion, all while keeping his no-kill run intact. The ultimate FU to this warlord's ideology.
Okay, yeah. I didn't realize the ability to take bending away. I didn't realize that was called energy bending, but I guess now that they say that, oh yeah, that makes sense. I didn't know that was the specific name for it, but okay. See, this is why I like watching Last Air, or not Last Air. Well, I do like watching Last Airbender, but this is why I like watching Death Battle, because it's like little things like that that I do know about, I learn more about. You know, I fuck with that. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Aang led a new era of peace with the United Republic of Nations, a place where all people could prosper and where a new generation and a new avatar would take the reins.
He even got hitched with Katara. Take that, Zutara shippers.
That's crazy.
For all his doubts, Aang fulfilled the Avatar's destiny and then some, and he did it in a way that was true to who he was.
Because before being the Avatar, or even an airbender, the greatest thing he could ever be was himself. All in a day's work for a free, fun-loving kid.
Okay, okay.
The battle is coming up thanks to this episode's sponsor, DraftKings Casino.
Big news from the casino.
If you're new,
You're off high stakes.
Don't gamble. Don't gamble. Don't do it. Only gamble in games. Only gamble with games in numbers. Gamble with your life in games. Don't gamble with your money.
Welcome to Tevat, a mysterious land.
All right, what you got, Traveler?
The archons that drew the eye of someone beyond the stars, Ether.
AKA the Traveler, who escaped his dying world with his sister.
Thousands. Old ass, boomer ass, fucking goddamn. Constellation Viator. Okay, all right. I don't know what any of that means, but I'm sure they'll explain it.
In search of the flowers that bloomed on their lost home, only to crash land, awaken to an apocalypse, and get cubed by this jerk.
Separated from his sister, Ether awoke, again, in a new, less apocalyptic age, and fished up his own pathetic pet pixie, Paimon.
Yeah, she makes for good emergency food. With his new guide, Traveler to the windy country of Mondstadt to find his link to the past, but got a Breath of the Wild glider instead.
And his first element, Animo, letting him make air slashes, tornadoes, and of course,
Windblade! But guess what? Traveler wasn't the only one with a power like this. Tevat was full of blessed people wielding these relic things called visions.
vision bearers can imbue their weapons and bodies with elemental power, summon items, and use a special, vision to perceive the elements around them.
Normally, they're limited to a single element, but Traveler is just built different. Through Paimon's guidance, he began collecting elements from mysterious statues across Tevat. No vision relic needed for him.
Okay, so... Okay. All right. Teleportation. All right. Names of a lot of these are very specific, so I can only guess what some of these mean, but we'll see. We'll see. They'll explain it, I hope.
a new element, a new
Okay.
crisis.
And new character banners. When asked to play a sleuth for a murder case in Liyue, Traveler wasn't interested. A corpse couldn't tell him where his sis was, but he was roped in anyway and got the Geo ability to form rock constructs and
Right.
eruptions of Earth.
When Ether ventured to Inazuma, he didn't care about its war with the Vision Bearers and their Archon either, until he saw the suffering caused by its tyrannical rule, and joined the resistance with electro abilities, fighting the powers that be using electric buzzsaws, thunder blades, and lightning.
He even learned to dodge lightning. Other Electro users like my wife Lisa can conjure storms. No shock,
The goat.
my adopted daughter Klee made explosions that raised mountains. Traveler met all kinds of people like this. You know the type. Twinks.
Yeah, Teyvat has its own laws, Boomstick. Many twinks being one of them. Maybe 2 or 3 of them, actually.
Ugh, Ringmaster.
Shut up, Wiz. This guy's been playing Genshin since launch.
I know
Oh,
everything
no.
there is to know about the Genshin meta. Either can mix elements for different reactions. Basically, big elemental combinations. Geo crystallizes materials into special barriers. Electro mixed with water stuns foes. Animo spreads elements around in swirls of destruction. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
Like
That makes
how I
sense.
combine beer and gunpowder.
Kind of like a chemical reaction.
Boomstick. Using Dendro, Traveler can form plant life that, when mixed with water and lightning, makes homing beams. Yeah, run from that. With enough clever thinking and artifact farming, you can combine anything in Genshin.
Okay, we get it. Go
Okay.
raise another 50-50, you whale.
I'll show you a whale. Drop one on your lap next time you're not looking.
In Sumeru, Traveler later beat Scaramouche, an edgy catboy with multiple elements at his fingertips, all in a time loop that got repeated 168 times.
Speaking
What the
of
fuck?
time, Ether had control of more than just his own future. Teyvat's fate fundamentally changed in ways small and grand, all through his unending willpower.
Because the Traveler was a descender, someone
A what?
unbound by the land's destiny. Even this big tree that records all of the world's events had no idea he existed.
Like when he helped defy
What?
the judgment of a biblical flood in Fontaine, where he mastered Hydro for his best Cuphead impression with water bullets.
Heck, a dinosaur chose not to blow up the world just because Paimon and Traveler befriended it. If that wasn't cool enough, Traveler can, unrelated, turn into a dinosaur. Hell yeah.
What?
Yo, look at
What
it.
the fuck?
If I could get a dinosaur on my Genshin team.
Huh?
Through these legally distinct Pokemon, Ether can fly, dig through the earth, or charge foes like a Jurassic bull. He traveled across the land, searching far and
So Buddy got elemental powers, so they got avatar bullshit, and they could transform to different creatures on some Shantae type shit? Interesting. My goodness, is there more? What else can this guy do? The fuck?
and finally stop swinging that one-star dull blade.
Instead, picking up the prototype Rancor, which he wields like a beast thanks to the sword.
Oh,
Master
boy.
Smirk, and several straight days of training. What a grind set. Still, Traveler's Cyst kept eluding
Okay.
him, choosing to hang in the shadows with these Gluminati folk.
Cool your
From
jets,
Conria,
ducky?
The nation cursed by the gods for
What?
messing with the abyss. Unbeknownst to Ether, his sister had already traveled to Vat in a journey that mirrored his own.
And at the end, she found... Well, we don't really know. Not yet, at least. But whatever it is got her to side with the creepy villains. Lot twist.
Eventually, Ether reached the nation of Natlan to fight in its never-ending war with the abyss. He gained the Pyro element, learning to launch fireballs and explosions
Okay.
combined of flame with lightning.
He didn't just dabble in fancy pyrotechnics. By connecting with the people there, Traveler achieved Night Soul's blessing, a power-up state fueled by primordial element juice, strong enough to make a blade of fire hundreds of feet long. Hell yeah, that's strong enough to take down the heart of the abyss, which is on the level of 5-star waifus like Mawika and the Raiden Shogun.
An Archon who, in ages past, sliced Yashiori Island in two.
That's cool, but how about when this Fenty
Un-
guy threw a...
Another person separating continents from themselves and turning it into... Bro, what are we doing? Are we sure this isn't just Avatar in another world? You know what? I'm starting to see the matchup a lot more as we go on. This is very interesting. Okay.
whole-ass mountain. According to Paimon, Traveler can level a mountain himself.
Additionally, Ether learned
Oh,
how to
my
use light
goodness.
energy to form a Kuvaki shield. Something
Oh,
he
what?
used to protect the people of Nodcry by blocking
fuck is a
cannon blast
Kuvaki
with
shield?
enough energy to obliterate a town.
This was no ordinary cannon either. It also uses Kavaki energy, so that's a beam of light.
Through all his adventures, Ether had come to genuinely care for Tevat's people. Maybe one day he will reunite with his sister, but for now, he's fighting for a whole new world. His new home.
Ooh, you need a higher adventure rank for that.
Don't you worry, gang. I dumped all my savings into Primo Gems for this. We can't miss when those ice guys
Beats.
trying to kill the traveler.
Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay. All-devouring narwhal? Okay. I guess. Alright.
Inevitably warm up to him. Still got it.
Oh, so that's why you're broke as shit.
To Ether, the journey has meaning. The birds of Tevat, the songs of its people, they are all part of it. Even if he's against the abyss itself, a new dawn is somewhere just beyond the stars, and a field of flowers Lumine too loved.
Okay.
The battle's about to start, and if you like death battle music, some of your favorite battle tracks are coming to a collectible vinyl album.
This
Oh,
album
shit, they're
features
plotting
track
on
from
vinyl?
Independent Era, created by our awesome
Interesting.
composers Brandon Yates and Their Wolf Media. Like Death and Bloom from Ruby vs. Maka.
That's a good one right there. That was a good fight.
Or Requiem for a Thief from Joker vs. Giorno.
Okay, okay.
Oh, can't forget Game Over from Bowser vs. Eggman.
That was a good fight. I like that fight. Very entertaining watch.
Plus, it makes a great piece of art to display around your place. Drawn up by our own animation director, Luis Cruz.
This album is only available for pre-order. So head to deathbattle.gg
Okay.
or click the link in the description before August 10th. And
W ad,
pre-order
W ad,
so
Death
you
Battle.
don't miss out.
And remember, Archivist and
Talk your
Chronicle
shit, talk your
members get a
shit.
Discount. That's deathbattle.gg, the home of Death Battle. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
I'm sorry, was that just the Colonel I just saw?
For a
Brother met the Colonel?
death battle!
Two elements?
Wait. Why does he look like adult Aang, but sound like kid Aang? Interesting. Unless is that what he sounds like as an adult? Okay.
What's going on? Paimon goes treasure hunting for 2 minutes. Now everything is going kaboom. Sesame!
Nissa's pretty nice. Okay.
Cool glider. Can it do this?
Damn. Okay.
Come on, travelers! Get up! Never, ever, ever stop moving forward! Remember!
No one fights alone.
Okay. Avatar state. Uh-oh.
who will follow. I am Avatar Aang, the last airbender.
Take this! Through the heights and shallows.
Okay.
Through infinite dusks and dawns.
Way to go, Traveler! But does this mean no treasure?
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna need an explanation as to what the fuck just
This was
happened.
an interesting pairing, so let's break this down by power, experience, speed, and elements.
First up, power. Aang and Traveler could both change the terrain of entire cities, and
Okay.
were way stronger than characters that can break mountains. But at their peak, they're both tearing up islands.
Aang's avatar state made him on par with Kyoshi, who created and moved the island of Kyoshi. Similarly, Night Soul's blessing let Ether contend with Archon-level foes like the Raiden Shogun, who split Yashiori Island in two.
With an attack that even Vision Bearers weaker than Traveler can block. So he's definitely on that level.
Kyoshi Island is over 6
Okay.
miles wide and long. Kyoshi moved the island 17 miles offshore in 2 seconds. So we have everything we need to calculate the amount of kinetic energy this would require.
Turns out it's basically the same as cutting through Yashiori Island. About 3,000 gigatons of TNT. So
Okay.
their power is tied up.
Which means comparing their experience is crucial.
Ether's mastered more elements than Aang, but the Avatar state gave Aang centuries of knowledge.
With the memories and abilities of past avatars, Aang's
Right.
state was so extensive in a way Ether had no real answer for.
Not to mention, Aang's training was more focused. Traveler is skilled, sure, but his training was mostly just a means to finding his sister, while Aang's journey was all about mastering elements to combat other elements.
Experience narrowly goes to Aang. However, another important factor to consider is speed.
In terms of mobility, both could roughly match the other. If Traveler was immobilized with earthbending, he could just dig his way out as a dinosaur.
And Aang's
Right.
airbending and glider meant he could easily counter Ether if he took flight.
But in terms of raw reaction speed, Traveler had it in the bag. Aang bending away lightning is crazy fast, but Traveler could dodge lightning much earlier in his journey, and now he can block that light-speed Kuvaki laser.
While lightning can move over 200,000 miles per hour, a beam of light can move 186,000 miles per second.
Right.
3,000 times faster than Aang. Traveler takes speed by a landslide.
So this all came down to the elements. Who could turn the forces of nature against the other?
At first, I actually thought this was Aang's dub.
Ether's elemental control is remarkable, but most of his attacks are projectiles, spires, and very specific implements that Aang has bent away in the past. Ether has never shown the precision or creative flexibility that we've seen with Aang's bending.
But
Right.
in the combos of elemental reactions and the script flips, Traveler could mix not just his elements, but also Aang's in ways that Aang could not. Bending was Aang's greatest strength, but also, against Traveler, a weakness.
Because
see.
Aang usually had one or more elements around him, it gave Ether an easy access point through these combinations. When Aang used fire, Ether could use lightning to catch him in an overload. If Aang used water, Traveler's electrocharge could paralyze him, and so on.
This isn't just
I
a
see.
gameplay
Okay.
thing. Genshin characters like the lovely Lisa canonically say this is how the elements work.
And unlike Aang, Ether has fought multiple people who can use multiple elements. The longer the fight went on, the more Ether would trip Aang up with these combinations, some of which Aang could not bend.
Aang could redirect lightning, sure, but what about electro buzzsaws, or an electrified tornado, or dendroblasts of pure plant energy?
The Kavaki shield especially gave Ether a strong defense to fall back on. Since it was made of pure light, Aang had no way to remove it outside of brute force.
By comparison,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Aang's wind barrier wouldn't block Traveler's elements. It would actually merge with them and create more combos that would target Aang himself. Not a great situation to be in.
And since Ether's powers came from external earthly sources, like those statues, Aang could not depower him with energy bending, even if he theoretically overcame Ether's willpower.
Willpower that is strong enough to alter the fate of the entire world. Sorry, Aang, but elements goes to the Traveler. Cinch in his
Okay.
victory. Ether way
I
you
guess
cut it.
that makes
He
sense.
was in his element.
The winner is the Traveler, Ether.
Okay, I'm ready for my cameo. Oh. Oh.
Next time on Death Battle.
Is that fucking Ninjago? And Bionicle? No fucking way, dude.
Subscribe.
Oh my god. Peak versus peak. Yo. For sure. We will be reacting to that. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're reacting to fucking Ninjago versus Bionicle. Are we serious? All the way, brother. All the way. Hell yeah. That was, good video. I'll rock with it. Okay. So, I don't know anything about Genshin, right? But as soon as you get into elements like light and expecting like an avatar character to deal with it, that's when it's just like, well, what the fuck is Aang supposed to do about a barrier of light? I guess that makes sense. I didn't know what the fuck, what they call it, a Kuvakia? Kuvakia barrier? Once they said Kuvakia barrier, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what that means. But as soon as they mentioned a barrier of light, I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, that's a problem. But yeah, good video.